Hi everyone, Rena here. Welcome to the Mama Elephant 10th anniversary release. We are at day 6 and I hope you're all enjoying the release so far. Also, make sure you take a look at the Mama Elephant socials for the anniversary release promo announcement, which will take place on the 14th. Let's kick off today's video with Fa La La. This is a cute little caroling set. This is illustrated by Ada Zamora, and I've just been loving her images. I love every single thing that she puts out, and my favorite image is the penguin. It makes me so happy to see the little penguin here. The sentiments are fa la la, la la. Have a magical Christmas. May your holiday be filled with many wonderful moments. We wish you a Merry Christmas, and 'tis the season to be jolly. Here's a look at the coordinating dies for Fa La La. Next up, we have Into the Woods. This Creative Cuts comes with 2 cover dies, and you can either use them separately or layer them together, and it looks incredible layered together. We'll look at those cut out in a bit. We'll also be taking a look at Into the Night, and this is a great standalone die that has a starry night sky. You can also use that in combination with Into the Woods if you like, and layer it behind for the nice starry sky look. We're going to start off and color these fun images with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush Watercolor markers. I love using these for Ada Zamora images. The paper that you absolutely have to use with Zig markers is the Bristol Smooth cardstock. I also stamped these out using the Memento ink in Rich Cocoa, and my ink pad is going dry on me, so the images look a little fuzzy. It's user error. My ink pad is dry. I did order like 3 pads so I wouldn't ever run out again. But this is fun to color. I think the Bristol Smooth cardstock paper is the perfect paper to use because the color just kind of slides on it and it's easy to get a smooth look. I know for when I color, it's important for me to have the coloring at least look really smooth and not rough and patchy. And this paper makes it so easy for you to create that smooth looking look. So the way I like to use these markers is I like to lay down the color in what I want the darkest part of the image to be. And then I use a watercolor brush to drag out the color, but I don't fill my watercolor brush because I think I use the brush mostly because I like how the bristles are. I haven't found like a real paintbrush that I like the bristles on, so I think I just like the stiffness of the watercolor brush bristles. And then I will wet the bristles, but I'll take out most of the water out onto a paper towel just so it's a little bit damp, and that helps move the color along. Other thing that I like to do is I like to hold the paper in an angle so the pigment flows where I want it to flow, and that way you'll kind of help avoid bleeding outside of the line if you don't want to. So I find that it's almost like cheating coloring with these markers because it's so easy, and I just really like the look that it achieves. Sorry for the music. I quite literally ran out of things to say. I always like to talk about like if I came up with a problem or if I found something new, but this was pretty smooth, so there was nothing else to talk about the coloring. So here are the Into the Woods dies. You get 2 in the set. You can use them separately or you can layer them together, and it looks so good layered together. I love it. Here is Into the Night, and the opening there matches the opening Into the Woods. And here it will cut out a nice little starry sky, and you can layer it onto the back of the Into the Woods dies if you like. But they are sold separately. The Into the Woods 2 dies are together, and then Into the Night is separate. So I thought for this first card I'd do a shaker card, and I wanted to do a little bit of ink blending. I like the way the white looks like, but I thought the trees maybe needed a little bit of color. So I'm using antique linen, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to extend the blending or not because I kind of wanted it to look like a warm glow type of thing, but I ended up deciding to layer it so the shading only occurs in the trees. So I'm just going to adhere those 2 covers together. So this is the start of the shaker card. Next, I'll put an acetate behind all that, and we'll start to create the shaker well. And then I'll be using some double-sided foam adhesive to wrap around that opening to keep the sequins inside. So this is the part that I feel like I hate doing this part, but it's needed. But I'm just carefully cutting my double-sided foam adhesive and just wrapping it around. It's not that bad, but in my mind, it's like the worst thing ever. I'm not sure why. Also, I apologize. I didn't realize my mosquito bite was showing in the videos. I got a little bite in my arm. I will be putting in the sequins. I decided to go with some silver stars, and then there's like an iridescent color too that I'm using. I kind of wanted it to look like sparkling snow. I just love looking at sparkly things. So once that's all filled in, I'm going to remove the release tape from the double-sided foam adhesive, and then I'll be sealing the back with just a standard size card front. To use a bigger piece of paper on top when I'm burnishing the adhesive, because one time I got this mean paper cut and I like never want to repeat that again. So I'm taking the images that we just colored and I'm arranging them at the bottom. This lamp post, I'm doing it straight on, and some of the critters will be overlapping it. So the ones overlapping it are going to be on double-sided foam adhesive, so it'll be on top of the lamp post. I messed up the sentiment. It looks patchy, and it's because my ink pad was dry. So I just stamped it on another piece of paper, cut it close, and put it on top of the mistake. So that's usually what I do when I mess up sentiments. I'll just like stamp it on another piece of paper, cut it out, and put it on top. So for this next card, I'm just going to make a regular card, not a shaker card. And I wanted to use the Into the Night creative cuts. So for the inside part, I wanted to do a night sky and then warm glow at the bottom. I was too afraid to use a darker color blue. I don't know why. So that's why I went with like the lighter of the darker blues that I had in Oxide. The blue that I used is Blueprint Sketch. So I did ink blend. I believe this is not antique linen. I used a different color for the warm glow yellow color, and that was fossilized amber. I just wanted to look like the street light was emanating light. So I'm going to adhere the images again in the same way that I did before. The street light straight on, and then when I do the critters, I'll do the critters in double-sided foam adhesive so it lays on top of that street lamp. It also looks like it's like added dimension because it's overlapping. I really like that look. And so, pro tip for coloring in the tiny berries in the street lamp wreath, I didn't want to use zigs because I was afraid the red would bleed out. So I just use a Copic marker to color in those tiny berries, and that way nothing will bleed. I stamped the sentiment out, and I just cut it out like freehand because I wanted it super small, and added it to the top. So I'm calling those 2 cards done. I will be mounting them on card bases off camera, but I just love these new dies. I love the layered branches. It looks so nice in person. And I like any die that you can make a shaker card with too. So that is it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day. Stay safe. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.